So that was me winding it up on my way to Marsworth, the Red Lion in Marsworth, for the VJMC meet. Yeah, I thought I'd do a video on this. I've not actually done a video on this bike alone. I've done other videos with a comparison to my 250 Suzuki that I used to own, but I've not actually done one on this, solely on this bike. Yeah, so I've had it since 2016. April 2016 I bought it, so I've had it 10 years, and it's been marvellous, really. I can't, I mean, I'm an ex-motorcycle mechanic, so I do know my way around a bike, obviously, but I haven't had any problems with it at all. You know, reliability wise, it's always done the job. It always starts well, goes well, you know, no misfires. It feels as though it's a fresh new bike when you ride it. It really does. As you might have noticed in the video, I took it up to 7,000 RPM there. I mean, it could have, in some ways I wish I'd have took it up to 8, just that extra little bit, but you know, it is old now. It's 1972, so what's that, 53 years old. But yeah, I mean, I've rebuilt the motor completely when I first got it. So the story is, when I first brought it, it was all in bits. And I bought it off a guy I know who never registered it in his name. He brought it to restore it, but he wasn't really into Japanese bikes. He's more of a British bike man. Brilliant restorer, by the way. And he bought it in view of restoring it, and probably had it a year and did nothing with it and decided to sell it. Because when I worked at the motorbike shop, he came in there and said, did I want to buy it? So I bought it for £800 10 years ago in bits, but well worth it. It's a one owner from previous owner from new, and it came from a shop in Bletchley near Milton Keynes, and it was called Mails Motorcycles, Arthur Mail, I believe. I've got the receipt, which I'll put up on the screen. And the guy who bought it owned a BSA C15, and he part exchanged it for this brand new. So he had it all that time registered in his name, up until I brought it 10 years ago. Yeah, so it's only had one previous owner, and he took it off the road because of a gearbox fault in 1974, as you can see here from the Taxis that was in it. That was in the bike when I got it. So it was 2 years old and it developed a gearbox fault. So he took the engine out, gave it to his mate who was, you know, a bit of a mechanic, and he stripped it down. He'd put the bottom end back together, as you can see, but never actually finished off the job, never put the barrels on. So when I got it, I stripped it completely to check it, really, because I don't know, you know, if it was done or done properly or whatever. So I thought I'll start again and just check it all through, but the gearbox was perfect. But the only thing I did notice, which may have been the fault all along, who knows, it had the plunger what goes into the selector drum, that spring-loaded plunger. It's like a bolt underneath the engine. I'm sure anyone who works on these things will know exactly what I'm talking about. Well, that plunger was stuck in, and you know, it may have been down to a gearbox fault, and you get little particles of metal in the oil, which, if it did get into that plunger, would jam it down. I don't know. Anyway, the plunger was stuck down, so that was the only fault I could find. So I cleaned it all out so it was springing back perfectly, put it all back. Gearbox is perfect, not absolutely sweet as a nut. So, you know, I don't know whether it was just muck in there or little filings of metal, because it did have a gearbox fault that had got jammed up in it, maybe. But so anyway, I rebuilt it all with a reconditioned crank, got it all done, put genuine new Yamaha pistons in it, gave it a rebore for its first oversize, and it was very small, 0.25 oversize, so the first rebore. And as I say, genuine pistons, and it will always start really well. First kick, you know, if it's been sat for a week or two, might be 2 or 3 kicks, but it always goes, never misses a beat, and as I say, it revs out beautiful. So it's a good bike. I can't really, the only other little problem I had with it was a charging fault, but that was a rectifier, and I bought a second-hand rectifier off eBay, which was fine. And I remember the guy said in the description that he didn't know if it was any good or not. Took a chance. It was good. It was probably only a tenner or something, and it's been in there since, and that was probably about 8 years ago, so that's good. I've had a couple of batteries, but other than that, I've done nothing to it. As I say, rebuilt the engine, charging fault. It's not restored. I've replaced the seat cover. All the chrome is original. The tank's original paint. These I've had painted because they were, I can't remember exactly, but they were some other odd colour. So that's the headlight and the brackets and the side panels. But the tank's all original. So it's got a few marks on it, but I don't mind. It's Yamaha paint. The badges are those replacement ones, but they look good. They're actually stuck on. The original ones are plastic and they curl up and they look awful, but they look really good. No one's ever noticed that they are actually, they're really thick stick-on Yamaha badges. I've painted the frame just in the parts that you can see, basically. So I took the swinging arm out and painted that and all these rails, because somebody had touched it up with a brush at some point, which looked pretty naff. Yeah, so replace it, you know, sort of nuts and bolts with shiny new ones, and that's it. Original rims, original spokes, original shocks, original fork stanchions that haven't pitted at all. There's one tiny little pit around the back here at the top, and that's it. Original plates still on it, which, as you see, this is a reflective plate. It's got reflective on the back, yellow at the back, white at the front, and that was from new. So yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people like to have these black and white plates, but this is 1972 reflective plates, so I've stuck with it, obviously, and stuck with the front number plate. But yeah, I have had no problems with this at all, really. It's becoming one of my favourite bikes of my little collection here, simply because it's light and easy to manoeuvre, you know, compared to my GT750, which is a heavy bike, of course. My Kawasaki and my T500 are pretty light, but the GT is quite heavy. I'm still able to move it around, but you know, there will come a time when I can't, I suppose. This feels still light enough to handle for probably another 10 years or so. I'll still be able to manoeuvre it about. But yeah, great bike. And as I said, just love the sound of this. I like the sound of the 70s two-stroke. I'm sort of a bit addicted to it. You know, I've got 4 classic two-strokes: GT750, H1500, T500 Suzuki, and this. I think it's just the way they sound when you wind them up. They pick up kind of gradually, but you know, they feel as though they're pulling your arms out. And 4-strokes, don't really like the sound. The only 4-strokes I like the sound of, again, 70s British bikes, basically. I do like the sound of Bonneville's, Trident is another awesome sound. You know, the triple Trident, when you wind it up, it's the same sort of gradual build up, you know, whereas a modern 4-stroke seems to fly up, you know, too quick in a way, and it doesn't kind of make sense, but it's not quite the same slow build up, whereas a modern bike would just go like that, and you miss that gradual pickup. Yeah, so if I had a 4-stroke, it'd have to be a British bike again. I've had a few Bonnevilles with Megas on, reverse cone Megas, and they sound great. As I said, and the Trident's great. And 2-strokes, just something about the 2-stroke I just like. So yeah, roll on spring. Look forward to riding it again. But yeah, that tax disc was in it when I got it, May 74. And the chrome work isn't perfect, of course, but it's original, but you can see there. But there's a lot to be said for originality. People do like original bikes, original paint. Say a few marks in the tank, which you can just probably see there. That's the original mileage, and I know that's accurate because, as I say, it's been off the road since 1974. So would I recommend a YDS7? Yes, I would, but it would have to be a good one. Obviously, you got to be careful. There could be some, you know, well-used ones out there that are tarted up. This one, obviously, you know, I know the mileage is genuine. The chrome work's all original, paint work's original, so it's a true representation of what it is, rather than something that's been tarted up to look pretty, but really a bit of a dog. But if you do get a good one, they're definitely as quick as the RDs. They won't be quite as much bottom end grunt because the RDs have torque induction or reed valves. This doesn't. But once you wind this up, I think the top speed is going to be very close. Maybe the RD is a bit quicker, I don't know, but negligible. It'll be a tiny amount, a couple of mile an hour if that. Yeah, anyway, so that's it really. Just to let you know, I've had it 10 years. I'll keep it another 10 years without a doubt. So thanks for watching, and I'll hopefully see you soon in another video. Once the weather cheers up, I'll do something else. Thanks for watching.